When did you come up with the idea for MonCon?
When did I come up with the idea for MonCon? It was in 2017, and it was one of those ideas that I can't really trace where exactly it came from. It popped into my head one day that nobody had made a game that took place at a convention before, as to my knowledge anyway. So I asked around a little bit, hey, has anybody done this before? And when nobody, everybody was like, yeah, no, that sounds like an original idea. Then I started more seriously thinking about a game that took place at a convention. And Tim Schafer would describe it as one of those fire hose ideas where you start thinking about it and it just like idea after idea after idea starts coming to you. And I got really excited about this idea about a kid who goes to a convention. And so then I worked on the script for it for about 6 months, just the story by itself. I hadn't done any programming yet. And originally the game was going to be about a bunch of kids that go to a convention to test an alternate reality game. And so the battles in the game were going to be literal battles where they were fighting each other. Everybody would have virtual reality helmets on, and they were all going to be battling each other for this alternate reality game that they were supposed to be play testing. And I worked on that idea for quite a while. And then I was thinking about one of the key scenes with one of the characters that takes place kind of towards the end of the game, where you're battling them, but you're actually, it's more of a conversation where you're trying to talk them down from doing something bad. And the thought occurred to me, man, this would be a lot easier if instead of them literally battling each other, the battles were just conversations. And that was what kind of pushed me into a whole new realm of ideas for this, is the idea of having conversation battles. That came pretty late into writing the story, actually. And then I started working on actually programming stuff around late 2017, and then spent the next 7 years trying to finish this thing. Once I hit on the idea of conversation battles, I really wanted it to reflect the way a conversation can be running smoothly, or you can be having a lot of difficulty talking to a person. I didn't want it to just be regular old turn-based battles, so I hit on the idea of having rhythm be an aspect of it to kind of reflect how you can be flowing really well with somebody, like you're hitting all the right notes when you're talking to them. I had never done any rhythm-based games before. I had no idea how to put together a Guitar Hero kind of rhythm. Am I allowed to say Guitar Hero? Yeah. I had no idea how to put together a Guitar Hero rhythm system, and then to get it to time with battle music that was also timed with whenever they hit the button for when they do their attack. So there was a lot of timing issues that I had to figure out. And honestly, a lot of the code that's underneath the hood here is still really brittle. Like I would probably completely start over if I was gonna do another rhythm game. But that was a pretty challenging thing to figure out. Felt like I really had to do this pretty much from day one. Mostly out of a sense of, if I don't do this, somebody else is going to do it, and I need to get my shot in before somebody else does, because it just seemed too interesting to me that surely somebody else is going to jump on this idea at some point in time. The idea of conversation battles, and your main character is afraid of talking to people. So like, what kind of situation could you put them in where there's lots of people around, and so they're in this dangerous environment with the idea being conversation battles equals dangerous. And so it meshed really well with the idea of it. Oh. It's like, did I break it? Yeah, just the idea of it taking place at a convention with a lot of people seemed to mesh really well with the idea of social anxiety being a prominent theme. I had a bunch of sketchbooks on my phone. I've got a stylus phone, and so anytime that I would think of an idea for a monster or a character, I'd just pull my phone out and just sketch it really quick. And so I was pretty much sketching stuff from the very beginning, as far as trying to figure out what the characters were going to look like, what the art style was going to be. I started working on the art pretty much right away because I wanted to show early builds of the game at conventions and whatnot pretty much from the get-go, and so I needed to have some kind of final art for the very early days. Originally the game was going to be completely in monochrome. I wanted the color palette to be kind of all over the place, so each room had a different vibe, a different flavor to it. And so originally my thought was, I'll do everything in monochrome, and then it can kind of have that Game Boy feeling to it, where just everything's a different shade of green, for example. And that didn't quite get what I was looking for, so I was gradually adding in more color as the development went on. And then I eventually hit on this style where at the base of it, everything is a shade of either red, green, or blue, and then the way that the hue is shifted, it changes from room to room, or from time of day to other times of day. If later on in the game, when you get into the evening section, there's a lot of blue that's used to suggest evening, nighttime lighting, and so I tried to use the rotating color palette as much as I could to just give you different feelings depending on where you are in the story.